Rachel Holt for Nesson.com. Welcome to our Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 1 of the NFL season just wrapped up. Many surprises, many disappointments. If you watched that Rams-49ers game, we're sorry, that was terrible. We're joined by Ryan Fowler of Fox Sports. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
You got it.
Adrian Peterson, Dez Bryant, two names worth mentioning here. First, let's touch on Dez Bryant. Will he start to figure things out with Dak Prescott, or are you a little concerned about the first few weeks of the season here?
Yeah, Dez had a tough matchup against the Giants defensive back Jenkins, who's making his debut there. So I'm okay with Dez and Dak the rest of the way. I thought Dak played like a rookie. I don't think he did anything remarkable, but he didn't turn the ball over, which is a big thing. Ezekiel ran well, so the offensive line's doing its part. I think they'll figure it out. The one thing that was concerning about the stat line was Dez only saw 5 targets, and I think that's a testament to how well he was covered throughout that game. They didn't want to force it to Dez, and that's a smart move by the rookie quarterback. So I think he'll be fine. Now, Adrian Peterson, this is an issue because what they did, the Tennessee Titans, was, okay, Shaun Hill, you beat us with your arm. And Stephon Diggs had a good week 1 output. It wasn't great. It was fine. I mean, I don't think you're going to get that week in, week out. Plus, we have this variable change that we're waiting for Sam Bradford to take over for Shaun Hill. But Adrian Peterson's 1.6 yards per rush, he rushed 19 times. So when you go back and you look at Adrian Peterson's game logs, 1.6 yards per rush was his lowest output since 2008 when he rushed 15 or more times. So there's a little bit of a stat for you. There is some concern that Adrian Peterson, now that Teddy Bridgewater's out for the season, we really don't know what we're going to get because we need to know what Sam Bradford can do in that offense.
One of the players that was still available late in the rounds for a lot of fantasy owners was Spencer Ware, and he came up huge in week 1. I mean, obviously Jamal Charles was out with an injury, so that helps Ware get more touches. Is Ware someone whose production is going to continue to go up and up, even when Charles comes back?
The short answer is no, and here's the reason. Andy Reid is going to cause a lot of fantasy ulcers this year because Andy Reid has a knack for mixing things up and going with the quote-unquote hot hand. Now, Jamal Charles, the one thing you need to know about Jamal Charles, and he's coming back from his second major knee injury of his NFL career, so that's not a good thing. But when Charles gets back, he is the only running back to average better than 5 yards per touch in the running game over the last X amount of years. So when Charles comes back, it would be silly for the Chiefs to say, nope, Spencer Ware's our RB1. We're going with Spencer Ware week in and week out. Now, when you look at Charles, there is going to be a committee there. Spencer Ware, if you go back to last year and then look at week 1 against the Chargers, and we'll get to that in a second, he was productive. And it's one of those things where you're wait and see. Now, if you own Charles and you don't own Ware, that's where it becomes a little bit of a nervous situation because if you own both of them, maybe you could figure out the clubhouse leader after week 2 when they're both in, assuming Charles plays this week. But if you don't have Ware, that's where it's like, man, can you trust Charles and Ware to evenly split the touches? The one thing I can tell you, when Charles comes back, he will have touches, probably 15 at least per game. But Spencer Ware is definitely on the radar for fantasy owners.